The cameras rolled, the audience clapped, and Blake Shelton strolled onto the Kelly Clarkson Show with trademark charm and a casual smile. Conversation began, light talk of his latest music, home life, and a few jovial anecdotes about life on the road. Kelly leaned in with warmth, asking about his creative process, and the rhythm felt easy. But the tone shifted when Kelly touched on criticism Blake had received for recent comments about the modern music industry. "Do you ever worry you've become too vocal for country fans who just want feel-good tunes?" she asked. Expression tightened, amusement flickering out of his eyes. He paused, then replied evenly, "Call it worry, or call it conviction. What I believe doesn't sell out. It stands out." The energy subtly changed, and every bit of that calm stillness felt like a warning. The audience shifted uncomfortably as Blake's tone turned more measured. Kelly pressed further, referencing a tweet accusing Shelton of being out of touch, and her voice carried a sharper edge. "Can you live with the backlash?" she asked. Blake's jaw clenched. With deliberate calm, he reached for the mic clip on his collar, removed it quietly, and met Kelly's gaze. "I came here to talk about music, not to be painted into someone's spotlight," he said. Then he stood up, brushed off his chair, and walked off camera, leaving a stunned audience and a silent stage behind him. No drama, no shouting, just a statement that spoke louder than any spotlight ever could. The moment Blake exited the stage, there was a stunned hush in the studio, one of those rare, heavy silences where even the audience didn't know if they should clap or hold their breath. Kelly Clarkson, clearly caught off guard, blinked at the camera with a smile that flickered between professionalism and disbelief. "Well, that just happened," she said, forcing a small laugh that didn't quite land. Producers scrambled. Behind the scenes, cutting to a commercial break far earlier than planned. Social media, of course, was already on fire. Within minutes, #BlakeWalkout trended across platforms. Some viewers defended Blake's decision to leave, calling the interview disrespectful. Others sided with Kelly, saying she was just doing her job by asking real questions. Backstage, reports later claimed that Blake was calm, not angry, just done. "That's not what we agreed to," he allegedly told a producer before leaving the studio entirely. By evening, clips of the incident were everywhere, dissected frame by entertainment pundits. What had been a routine daytime interview had now become headline news. The official show account posted a short, vague statement thanking Blake for his time and wishing him well. Blake, for his part, said nothing on social media. His silence only fueled speculation. Had he been ambushed? Had this been brewing for some time? Or had he simply reached a point where playing the industry's game wasn't worth the effort anymore? Whatever the reason, the message was clear. Blake Shelton didn't come to be cornered, and he knew when to walk away. In the days that followed, the fallout from Blake Shelton's dramatic exit became a flashpoint in the broader conversation about celebrity interviews and media ethics. While some tabloids leaned into sensationalism, using words like meltdown or feud, the reality was more nuanced. Industry insiders hinted that Blake had grown weary of media setups, disguised as casual chats, especially when they veered into clickbait territory. "He's old school," one source said. "He believes in showing up, being honest, and not turning everything into controversy." Kelly Clarkson, for her part, remained gracious, but clearly affected. On a later episode, she addressed the walk-off subtly. "Sometimes conversations go in directions you don't expect. But I've always believed in letting people speak their truth, even if that means they walk away." Interestingly, the incident didn't damage either of their reputations. In fact, it strengthened them. Fans of Blake admired his calm, no-nonsense boundary setting. Kelly was praised for remaining composed and not escalating the moment. But what resonated most with the public was the authenticity on both sides. In an era of rehearsed interviews and PR-road answers, the walk-off was real. People noticed. Commentators began referring to it as a rare, unscripted moment in a heavily scripted industry. Late-night shows joked about it, podcasts debated it. And yet, through all the noise, neither Blake nor Kelly fueled the drama further. There were no apology tours, no follow-up interviews. Just two pros, caught in a moment that got a little too real and quiet. Mutual understanding that not all stories need a resolution. Asterisk, by the end of the week, network executives were already in meetings, reviewing the segment and trying to assess whether the production team had pushed too far. Internally, there were murmurs about tightening guest prep protocols and avoiding ambush-style questions going forward. The producers behind the Kelly Clarkson Show maintained that the questions had been vetted, but off-the-record whispers told a different story apparently. Someone higher up had made a last-minute change to spice up the interview. Move had backfired. Despite the initial media frenzy, Blake Shelton had quietly emerged as the more relatable figure. A man who didn't shout or argue, but simply decided not to play along. His team released a short, respectful statement thanking Kelly and her crew, but adding, "Sometimes stepping away says more than staying seated." Asterisk, meanwhile, audiences continued to dissect the tension. TikToks popped up with side-by-side clips showing Blake's shifting body language throughout the interview. Lip readers tried to decode what he muttered off mic as he exited. Memes exploded. Yet amid all the noise, a deeper message started to cut through. People were tired of phony gotcha TV. Blake's walkout, dramatic, had exposed something. Many viewers felt the growing disconnect between entertainers and the entertainment machine. Kelly, ever the professional, didn't take the bait to drag the issue out. Her next episode opened with a light joke and a musical performance. Business as usual, but the energy was different, softer, more cautious. Both she and Blake had made one thing clear: in a world where everything is choreographed for maximum attention, walking off can sometimes be the most honest move of all. Asterisk, as the dust settled, a surprising twist emerged rather than hurting either celebrity. The incident sparked a wave of public reflection. Commentators, journalists, and even fellow musicians began chiming in, not to take sides, but to talk about why it happened. One late-night host joked that Blake pulled the ultimate mic drop by literally dropping the mic, while another praised him for having the kind of boundaries we all wish we could set. In the country music world, several artists posted messages of support, saying that the industry often forgets artists are human beings, not headlines. And in daytime TV circles, producers across multiple shows reportedly began rethinking how they approach controversial segments, fearing another walkout that could go viral for the wrong reasons. Asterisk, despite the intense focus, neither Blake nor Kelly tried to capitalize on the drama. Blake returned to social media days later, not with a statement, but with a photo from his ranch and the caption, "Back to the good stuff." Fans flooded the comments with encouragement. Kelly kept her show rolling with warmth and humor, proving once again that grace under pressure is part of her brand. Interestingly, ratings for both of them experienced a brief surge. Viewers tuned in to see how they'd respond, only to be met with poise instead of pettiness. No feuds, no takedowns. Just two seasoned entertainers who understood that real moments, even awkward ones, don't need to be spun into scandals. They just need to be left alone. In the end, it wasn't the clash that resonated, it was the calm after. Asterisk, behind closed doors. Network executives began to grasp the larger implication of the Blake Shelton moment, not just a viral incident, but a clear signal that audiences were craving authenticity over engineered controversy. For years, daytime television had walked a fine line between entertainment and provocation, often relying on sensational segments to boost engagement. But Blake's quiet exit flipped the script. Instead of spiraling into chaos or confrontation, he gave the world a rare display of restraint. No shouting. Just a man standing up literally for his peace of mind. That unspoken message hit deeper than any dramatic outburst ever could. The moment began to symbolize a shift in celebrity media dynamics, a move toward mindful disengagement. Asterisk, meanwhile, conversations within fan communities grew more thoughtful. Rather than fueling division, they sparked discussions about boundaries, media pressure, and the emotional toll of constant public scrutiny. Some fans even praised both Blake and Kelly for modeling mature conflict resolution by simply walking away and not escalating. Commentators called it a masterclass in dignity, Noting how neither party rushed to correct the narrative or gain sympathy, they let the moment speak for itself, allowing the public to draw its own conclusions. Months later, during an unrelated interview, Blake was asked about the walk-off, smiled and said, "Sometimes when it's not your vibe, it's okay too. Leave. No bitterness. No drama. Just a simple truth that landed with more weight than any viral headline ever could." Asterisk.